Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So the latest patch for Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 has now dropped. You can go and download it, play it, test it all out. The patch notes are out over on their community page over on Steam as well. Now it seems that the Space Marine fleet is dead in this game right now. Maybe I'm overreacting a little bit, but going through the patch notes, the way they've changed the whole boarding actions, the way they've changed certain stuff with the Space Marine fleets in this patch, for me, Space Marines are no longer viable to play in this game because they're just going to get crushed. Let me go in and let me speak about it a little bit more, and let me try and explain it to you why these changes are so bad for Space Marines. So first, let me start with Space Marines fleets as a whole. What made them so good? What were their strengths and stuff like that? So their main strength was boarding. They were the fleet to take if you wanted to assault another fleet, get between the lines, do the boarding actions, lightning strikes, honor the chapters, boarding torpedoes, all that kind of stuff. You could go in, you can make a nice little smash fleet, and you can really tear up your enemy's fleet if you got there, if you got the chance to get into their lines. They were really great at routing ships, making them mutiny, all that kind of stuff. But the most important thing about that is if you got to the enemy fleet. That is the hard thing playing Space Marines, because there's so many things you can counter Space Marines doing to really not be able to get them in close combat and stuff like that, to stop their boarding torpedoes. There's so many abilities out there that can really help you. What I've seen playing Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 is people play their fleets wrong. I see people playing Dark Eldar and they're not doing the hit and run tactics. They're not stealthing in, shooting and getting back out there. They're coming in trying to ram my ships, and then I see a Dark Eldar player playing online saying, oh, Space Marines are too OP, they're so broken in game. But then that same player comes and tries to take me on 1v1 versus boarding actions. I'm like, I'm playing my fleet the same way. You're not playing your fleet how you should do it. But then you go online and complain about my Space Marine fleet, which has led to these kind of nerfs. So the developers have implemented a new boarding mechanic. The old mechanic was you basically boarded and the action was done automatically. You know, destroyed the engines, took down generators, whatever, you know, you're targeting, or whatever happened, you know, the ship went mutiny or basically just went into a hulk and stuff like that. Now it is changed to a damage over time, and this is very bad for Space Marine players, and I'll explain why. When you play a Space Marine fleet, the main tactic is to get in and out, board and get the hell out of there, because you don't really have that much firepower to go toe-to-toe against the other ships of your class. You simply don't have it. Now, when it comes to armament, they're decently armored. They can take a little bit of a beating, but not a lot. But what this new mechanic means now is that I have to stay in the battle. I can no longer go in, board, and get the hell out of there. I have to stay in and keep fighting, keep them boarding actions pressed on the enemy. And that is very bad for me, because first things first, most fleets, like I've just mentioned, around my fleets, like the same kind of ships and stuff like that, basically outpower me, outgun me, should I say. And again, my armor is decent, but it's not the best. So within a couple of minutes, my fleet is more or less down, destroyed, burning. I've lost, you know, the whole decks, generators, all that kind of stuff, because I have to now stay in the middle of the battle. Now, adding this new boarding mechanic to the other nerfs which Space Marines received, so the point cost of the boarding torpedoes has now gone up, which, to be fair, boarding torpedoes were easily shot down, and you only get 3 charges of boarding torpedoes now in this game anyway. I know in the last game you could basically just spam them, but now it's basically 3 boarding actions for boarding torpedoes per ship. And again, if you're Necrons, you can basically just do your little splash damage green array, I like to call it. You can just put your ships down to like start shooting all the boarding torpedoes down. You know, you can brace for impact to increase your turret damage. Boarding torpedoes were really never an issue, so I can't really understand why they've increased that. Are they just trying to stop boarding altogether? Are they just trying to nerf boarding as a whole? Because they need to understand, if they are trying to board nerfing as a whole, then they need to give Space Marines something else in battles, because at the moment we are just low tier. We are going to get smashed every game we go in now. And on top of that, Honor the Chapter has now been removed from the escort ships. Again, I have no idea why they've chose to do this. If they just had in their patch notes why they've chose these certain actions, is it because of this, it's because of this, then okay, maybe I can sit down and understand it a little bit better. But just to say Honor the Chapter has been removed, it's like, what? Why has it been removed? At the end of the day, Escort vessels are still Space Marine vessels. They still have Space Marines on them. They still deploy Space Marines from them escort vessels. Just because they're escort vessels doesn't mean they're any different from a normal Space Marine ship. Again, maybe it's balanced, but I really hope the developers are a bit more clear on this and what's going down with everything else. Now, there is one thing we can do to try and even the odds, but it's the most insane thing you could probably do. And that is bring a battle barge. A battle barge can put out a dish of damage, but the problem is that battle barges are so overcosted. If you bring a battle barge, you are easily smashed because you really only have that one big ship. Unlike the Imperium and other factions who can have a nice little battle barge at a decent cost, our battle barges are way overcosted. So if the developers want to try and make it right, then just lower the cost of the battle barge. At the moment, all I'm seeing for the future of Space Marines is that we're basically going to be in the low tier bracket of winning now. It's going to be really, really hard to change the games around. If you go against immediate players, I'm sure we can still dish it out on noobs, new players and stuff like that. But if you go against someone who's experienced as you, it's really, really easy to smash Space Marine fleets now, hands down. I think now Space Marines are probably the weakest fleet in the game. They're back to like the beta. Actually, they're not. They're probably worse than they were in the beta now. So all I can say is, why, developers? Please, why? Please explain your actions. I would love to know why. Space Marines, hopefully we can receive some more love in future updates. For me at the moment, I don't think I'm going to play competitive anymore. I'm just going to play skirmish and just wait for maybe, the Phalanx and the Macrags on to be put in. Because there's really no point in playing a fleet which I'm just going to get smashed 9 times out of 10. There's really no fun in that at all. At least give me a chance out there, developers, because at the moment you're giving me absolutely nothing. Alright, Chaperoonios, that is me done for another video. If you're a Space Marine player playing Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, have you got any tactics that can help me out? Who's laughing at me because my Space Marines are basically dead in this game? Let me know in the comment section below. We can have a nice little chat about it down there. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you all very, very soon. See you now, and bye-bye.